And it goes a little something like this.
Welcome to WarWinnersCoaching.com and also Heal Studio. My goal is to empower you to become your own doctor.
Okay. So Jade, tell me where you were at before you started working with Warren.
Well, I wasn't in a very good place. Last season was quite a difficult year. I had a few issues with my knee, and I've had an ongoing problem with my back. And I saw a surgeon last year, and they told me that I might have to have an operation on my spine because I've got a pars fracture and also a burst disc. So I was literally at the end of my tether, didn't know whether I was going to be able to compete, and I came to see Warren. A friend introduced us, and it's been good ever since.
Yeah.
What's different about the CHEK approach?
Well, maybe you might be a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about working with Jade is that because she's like a high-level athlete, the CHEK approach is so good because we assess people's strengths and their weaknesses. So by assessing their strengths and their weaknesses, you can find out what their imbalances are, and then you work on those imbalances. So because Jade's already very strong, we had to find out what the weaknesses were, and once we were able to identify the weaknesses, then we could just build on that template. And the key thing with the CHEK stuff is we always assess first, and then we'll before you were kind of just doing general training, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I did the general stuff. I kind of did a lot of like weights, and I'm very kind of strong in the big muscles. And when I first came to you, it was funny because Warren said to me, which I'd never really heard this terminology, calls it inner unit and outer unit, and I was very outer unit dominant, meaning that my big muscles were very dominant, and also tried to do a lot of the work for the stabilizers, and my stabilizers basically didn't work. And being a long jumper, having to run 1,000,000 miles an hour down the runway and take off, I think you need your stabilizers to work. And also with the injuries that I have, with the fact that I've got the burst disc and the pars fracture, it's even more imperative for me to be working functionally, and that's what we've been working towards.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like Jay said, it's like some of the athletes are dynamically powerful, dynamically strong, but they don't have that support structure. And like one of the first things I was saying to Jade is, can't fire a cannon from a canoe. So that straight away got to understand the importance of having that strong foundation to build off, and that's I think that's the difference with the CHEK approach, is that foundation.
And I definitely remember one thing now that I think I'll definitely carry through, that Warren taught me, which was, I've done all of these things, but not necessarily in this order, and this is what I've found that has been really, really important for me, which is flexibility first, then stability, then strength, then power. And I'm such a power-dominated athlete that I would do a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of stability, and then straight into power, and it was like, and then maybe go into strength, and then I would mix it up, whereas actually it needs to be in that order for it to work.
So basically you're saying that you changed the training phase when you came to him?
My coach, John Herbert, that Warren's met and they kind of taught, he's amazing and he does really well in what he does, but with the nature of the injuries that I've had, that's not his expertise. So I've obviously worked with a few physios that are really good, but for me it just didn't click and it hasn't worked in terms of integrating the understanding of what's wrong with me with training, and I think that was the difference. The physios have helped me in certain aspects and they fixed me and they put me back up, but I really, really needed to go back to basics, really back to ground zero, and then build back up, and that's basically what we've been doing.
Yeah, I think what we were saying was the first time we met, we had a talk, we were talking for like 2 hours or so, and just breaking down different things, and for me it was amazing to have they had to conversate with someone who had tremendous understanding of the body, and I was quite shocked that her, Jade's understanding of the body was so high. But it was now just putting the missing link in, because there was things that Jade understood intrinsically about the body, but not understanding how they truly connected with like organs and stuff like that. So we kind of tied that together, understanding the link between the organs and the muscles. Like, okay, as an example, like somebody could have weakness in their legs because the nerve signal from an organ is feeding that leg, but they just keep training on that leg rather than connecting the fact that it might be the liver or the kidneys that are inflaming that leg through what we call a reflex inhibition. Or as an example, like the colon sits underneath the belly button, and you get a lot of people that have a distended little, pot belly below the belly button, and a lot of that is because their colon,
especially women.
Yeah, I mean it's not even just women, but yeah, predominantly as well. But you get the colon shuts down, and when the colon shuts down due to dysfunction, the lower abdominal wall shuts down, so that's called a reflex inhibition. So it's kind of connecting that sort of stuff, and that's one of the things that helps Jade as well. But like I said, Jade's a brilliant athlete, but it's now getting her to understand, like you were saying, going back a little bit and building the strong foundation up, and having the patience as well, because that was one of the things, because a lot of people want to do exciting exercises, and having the patience like the first month. We always were doing like boring stuff, like sit still and contract one muscle.
But the thing is, it was boring in one aspect, but I love to learn new things, and so it was all new to me. So I was patient, and when I first came to see Warren, I've got very high standards. So I don't usually kind of go and see anybody. So when I did come to see Warren, I was a little bit skeptical. But as soon as he told me to do something, I'd say, well, why don't you do it? And then he would do it straight away. And that's the thing that I love, that if I'm going to learn from somebody, they have to be able to do what they're telling me. And so with Warren, he was able to do everything and more that he was telling me to do, and that really, really helped me to know that there is somebody that can out there that can do it, and I'm seeing it with my eyes. So it really helped. And
I think the other thing as well is like Jay said, she's proficient, very, very proficient at so many high level exercises, but coming in and like when we're doing the Superman exercise, which you'll probably see a cutaway of in this interview anyway, but the Superman exercise where you're just holding your body out, the ability to do it, you did like 4 seconds.
No, Warren, I literally did 4 seconds after about 2 weeks of trying to do it, and that 4 seconds was like diving towards the floor. But it took me so long to learn to do that. I think it was 4 weeks of working with you 3 days a week, and then also 3 days a week on my own, going and trying to learn to do it. And it literally did not want to switch on. Whatever muscles and stabilizers would work to switch that on for you to be able to do that exercise didn't happen for me. And it's simple exercises that look very simple, and everyone would say, oh, I could do that. And then it's so difficult. But that's the thing, I love a challenge, and the stuff that I'm doing with Warren at the moment is definitely that. But it's an exciting challenge, and I kind of feel like I'm more at play than work, so that's what is really, really good about it.
So to summarize, how would you say it's improved you overall?
Well, I think I was at the point in my career and in my life where, I was 30 years old. The Olympics obviously is in London next year, and I'll be hopefully hitting my peak and at my prime. But the amount of injuries I've had over the years, and a lot of people who watch athletics and know about athletics will know all the injuries I've had. It seemed like I'm always injured. And really, coming to see Warren has given me the missing link that I feel like I've been missing the whole time, and it just gives me a little bit more hope, I guess, because before coming to see Warren, everyone around me and everyone that was working with me are amazing, and I kind of felt a little bit like I was a bit of a letdown, because I should be going out and performing, with the physique that I have and all the talent that I have. I should be doing this, and I haven't quite reached it. And it was amazing for me, and it just gave me an inner peace, because when I came to Warren and he gave me that missing link, I then realised, actually, wow, what I've achieved up until this point is like amazing, considering what I didn't have. In spite of yourself. And that's the thing that has really given me an extra boost and a little bit more of a lease on life to go on to next year to the Olympics and hopefully do really well.
So yeah, it's like, just performing. It's like having a high performance car, giving it normal fuel. Now she's getting this better fuel because she's got those stabilizers firing, which is activating more muscle. So all you guys that are waiting, watch out, Jade 2.0 is coming.
Hiya, my name is Freddie Luke Turner. I'm a professional boxer from Canning Town, East London. I'm a welterweight boxer. I've been boxing for 11 years. I started boxing at the age of 11. I won numerous titles as an amateur, schoolboys, national, NABCs, junior ABAs. I moved into the senior ranks. I got to semi-finals of the national ABAs. I got beat by a highly ranked Frankie Gavin, a world champion. Since then I've turned pro with Frank Warren and Jimmy Tippett as trainer. I've done very well. I've had 4 professional fights, unbeaten so far, and as a professional I seek the best. So I've come to Warren Williams to further my career.
How do you think training Warren's helped your boxing?
It's helped it immensely. Warren's very unique in what he does, very different. I mean, as an athlete and a professional, I really I want the best from everything I can get. I've searched in all aspects of all training, from athletes doing long jump to track and event to weightlifting. I've done all of it. It's also sort of the same old sort of thing. You don't really see much benefits from it, just injuries. I've come to Warren Williams because it's different, really. It's completely different to anything I've seen before. And it's exciting, really exciting. And with my boxing career, it helped immensely because Warren bases his training on your specific sport. He finds out what's good for your sport and then implements it into your training. So it's worked perfectly for my sport. I mean, the progress has been amazing.
Would you say that you feel stronger?
Yeah, more or less all round. Yeah, I mean, not just so much the strength. It's the conditioning in all aspects, balance. Yeah, all aspects of my physical performance has come up a level. Also the mind. I mean, Warren's really good with your mind training. He knows how to keep you calm and relaxed and focused. Yeah, it's been great for me.
My goal is to empower you to become your own doctor, to work on 4 phases, through corrective exercise and postural assessment. Like Paul CHEK says, if you're not assessing, you are guessing. It's so important to make sure that you are assessed and therefore get a proper program that's tailored to your individual needs. I take you through 4 phases: flexibility, then stability, then strength, and then power. These phases are integral to get you to be able to be optimally functional, allow you to have power, but also with an adequate support base so you don't get injured. What we find today is many people are focused on flashy exercises without getting that correct foundation. They work on power or strength without the appropriate level of support. If you are not supporting your muscles first, you will be generating tremendous power that cannot be supported by the body. And that's why it's so important to make sure you get a proper assessment. What you'll see from this video is elite level athletes training with functional exercises that are specifically tailored for their sport. It's not just about training just for the sake of training. It's about training to make sure you're doing something that is correlating to the sport that you're actually doing or to the activity that you're actually doing. So if you're a boxer, you'll be doing exercises that allow you to be able to generate force from your legs, through your trunk and into your arms to get the most effective punches thrown. If you're a long jumper, it's about having enough support so when you land, you can support your spine and your legs whilst you're finishing your jump. So it's about making sure that everything that you're doing is specific to your sport and tailored to your individual needs. You cannot do this unless your program is based on that assessment first of all, to find out where you are weak and where you are strong. At Warren Williams Coaching, my focus is on making sure that I make you the best athlete or professional you can be by assessing you functionally, finding your weaknesses, finding your strengths, by improving your flexibility for muscles that are too tight, and increasing your strength to make sure you are perfectly balanced. As we always say, you always stretch the short, tight muscles and strengthen the long, weak muscles. Therefore, you get optimal balance as a trained person. As we always say, form, principle. Everything must be done with perfect form. And at my studio, you will get the best technique and the best coaching. WarrenWilliamsCoaching.com, empowering you to become your own doctor.